Hey, you beautiful souls. Do you believe that science and spirituality sit on opposite sides of the ring? Or maybe when we bring together these two subjects, we can unlock a force of unstoppable power. Today, I'm going to talk about how when we combine the concepts of science and spirituality, we can unlock that power to build that beautiful life that we all desire, one filled with passion, purpose, and profound joy. And then, towards the end of the video, I'm actually going to give you a manifestation technique that combines neuroscience along with some spiritual practices to manifest anything your heart desires. So to anybody who's never been here before, hi, I'm Elizabeth Blackwell from Blissful Home and Body, and I've spent well over the last decade of my life studying things so that I can help others set sacred space and get to their highest and greatest point. So if that sounds good to you guys, let's get started. We live in this amazing time. If you go back even thousands of years, spirituality was based upon the powerful basically saying, you need to believe this because I told you that it's what is true. And then, in more recent times, spirituality has developed into people going within in order to seek those answers. But now we've come to a point in time where science is kind of starting to catch up, and it is proving a lot of these concepts that those who have gone within had already believed. So we are now realizing how frequency and vibration affect us, and how our inner thoughts and emotions affect our outer reality. And then we have amazing things like quantum theory and quantum physics that prove how we are connected at the most minute levels. I'm going to start out today just kind of talking about, in a brief way, some of these areas where science and spirituality have come together. And when we utilize them in that combined way, it actually gives it more power. And then as we get towards the end of the video, I'm going to give you a manifestation technique that is grounded in neuroscience and then linked in a spiritual way in order to manifest generally anything your heart desires. One of the big reasons why I wanted to bring these concepts into the idea of both science based in spirituality, spirituality based in science, is because I want people to have that extra backing to these spiritual practices, to understand that it's not all woo-woo, that there is a reason why these things work beyond just belief. So let's start with one of my big ones, which is visualization. When we deeply imagine something and we have that picture of the best case scenario in our mind, we know within spirituality that this is where things like the law of attraction and the law of assumption come in. That we set ourselves to that specific frequency and vibration and attract whatever we are visualizing into our reality. And then there's the science that backs this as well. There was a couple of different research studies that did this with both lifting weights and playing the piano. They had one group either go to the gym and lift weights. I think it was 3 times a week. And they had the other group sit and deeply visualize weightlifting. And then they did the same thing with practicing the piano. I don't remember the frequency exactly, but they had one group that would actively work on a piano practicing, and they had the other group visualizing themselves participating and practicing on the piano. Both groups made significant strides in building their body for the weightlifters and the ease to which they could play a specific piece of music when it came to practicing the piano. So we are actually training ourselves to have those achievements within our reality. And then there's things like goal setting. It increases motivation, confidence, focus, all of these things which will help us to get to those goals or that higher and better place that we are looking to get to. So that's what happens when we deeply visualize something, that there's clearly both the scientific as well as the spiritual sides to it. So that then brings me to my second concept, which is meditation. Now, meditation can build off of the visualization idea, but I want to add a little bit more as well. When we go into deep meditation, it helps us to detach from the rest of the world, telling us to do and be what it believes that we think we should be. And we can go within, helping us to connect to our true and authentic selves. And when we live in that authentic being, it helps to lift our mood. It helps us to know what we really desire. It helps us to know where our limitations and boundaries are. But then there's also, again, the more scientific side to it. It reduces stress. Things like, it can bring about things like healing to our physical body. There's amazing studies done out there about how deep meditation can speed up the healing process of many different ailments. So meditation is one of the things that I deeply believe everybody should do, but meditation also saved my life. There's a full video on it. But meditation is another one of those areas where there's the more spiritual side to it, but it's definitely linked in science. And when we have the understanding of both, it increases the power of that specific practice. I have a couple more little concepts here, and then we'll get into the manifestation technique. And I want to talk about how our beliefs shape our reality. Within spirituality, we have an understanding that our beliefs and our limiting beliefs shape that reality to which we experience. But within science, when we start to let go of those limiting beliefs, where we believe we can't, or believe we don't have, or whatever is holding us back, it actually helps us to rewire our brain. It's called neuroplasticity. There we go. I got the word. And we actually form new neural connections within our brain, helping us to cement those new beliefs in order to shape our reality into that life that we desire. So for this last part here, before I get into the manifestation technique, I want to talk about how quantum physics and our manifestations work together. So for this, I'm going to talk about the two things that I think a lot of people are trying to manifest, which are love and money, something we all need more of in our lives. And I am talking about this through basic concepts. I know there's a lot more detail to this, but I think if you understand the basic concepts, the main thing is that it boosts your belief in these practices. Within manifestation, there's kind of two parts of quantum physics that back this up, which the first one is known as the observer effect. The idea that we can change the outcome of a situation simply by observing it or viewing it, whether that is in our external world or visualizing it within ourselves. And then the second concept is quantum entanglement. And this is the idea that when one particle has interacted with another particle, even if it's on the opposite side of the world, that one can affect the other. So I'm sure you can see here how, as we talk about manifestation and lining up those intentions, how it can actually affect our physical reality. So let's get into this manifestation technique. I like to call it the jewelry technique because I tend to do it with jewelry, but you can do it with any object that you can regularly wear on your body. And this works very well with like the crystal beaded bracelets, especially if you align the crystal to whatever it is you're trying to manifest. So this could be love, this could be money, this could be clarity and growth, this could be healing or wellness, anything that you're looking to draw towards you. You want to take the object. I highly recommend you cleanse it and set it back to its base energy. You can smudge it, you can do it in salt water. There's a variety of ways to cleanse it, but cleanse the piece if possible. You then want to hold on to the object. And this is where you're going to go into a deep visualization. And you want to get as many of your senses involved in this visualization as possible. So what would it feel like? What would it look like? What would you see around you? What would you hear, smell, taste as this is your reality? So if this is a person, you could picture tasting the dinner that you would have together or listening to music. If this is money, what would you do with it? But get a deep visualization as to what that reality looks like when you are in it. You want to do this for a good 5 to 10 minutes. I like to picture white light. I always say, go with whatever resonates towards you. But then after you've done that deep visualization, you're going to wear that object on your body. I don't have a beaded bracelet on. I have a copper bracelet on, but it'll work for this example. As you wear it, you're going to connect with it throughout your day. And you want to touch it. And as you go along it, if this was individual beads, I would go along the beads. But for this, I would just kind of slide my fingers up it. And I'm going to connect with that piece and feel as many of those things as possible. So picturing that money in your bank account, that freedom that you would have with that money. What would you buy? So on and so forth. And this can be fairly quickly throughout your day, but you want to connect with it as often as possible. I actually did it with this piece of jewelry, which this was already created as a nurturing pendant, but I did it because I was recreating parts of myself. And so I will regularly touch it and I connect with it and I picture those things that I am recreating within myself. And it's amazing the progress that I have made in the time that I have done this technique. But this is working in a couple of ways. One, you are setting that energy and frequency of what you are trying to attract to this object. But then also, As you feel that object on your body, wherever it is, it's helping to program your brain into that reality, making it to be your reality manifested, bringing in that thing that you're trying to draw closer to you. And it's amazing how this works. I deeply hope that this video helped you to understand how science and spirituality can come together to form your reality. If it did, please hit that like button, as it really does help out small channels like this. And if you connected with the message or me, think about subscribing here, because this community is all about supporting each other as we get to our highest and greatest selves. So with that, I am sending you all so much light and love, and I hope you all are staying well, my friends.